Nation gang, and welcome to Ink and Insights, our weekly comic book highlight show. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, E from 9 Panel Grid, and we are, of course, joined by my brother tonight, Nick from Comic Culture. Fellas, how we doing? Nick, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be here, man. It's always good to hang with you guys.
Yeah, man.
New comic book day. Thanks, man. Yeah. New comic book day. Excited to get into all this stuff with you guys.
Absolutely. E, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. There's a new Daredevil book that came out. I read it. It's fantastic. That means that the world is a better place, and I'm here with my brothers here, so I'm excited.
I hear good things about this latest episode too. I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
Neither.
The episode or the comic? Because I'm talking comic books, man.
Oh, yeah, McNiven.
Yes.
It's a good time for Daredevil fans right now.
It's a fucking great time to be a Daredevil fan right now. So
you got your Dark Knight Returns, right? A lot of that energy in that book.
It's looking like it's if you've read Elektra Lives Again, I think you're gonna like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that why? Okay, got it.
Can't wait.
It is a great issue, though. Yeah.
And McNiven's killing it. Is he's writing that too?
No, Charles Soule.
Charles Soule.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. But always good to see Steve on art, especially on a book like that. So
heck yeah, we would too.
Hell yeah. Great. Good to see you, fellas. Real quick, let's say what up to the chat. We got Johnny Recaps in the building. Johnny, what up?
What's up, Johnny?
Talk in the building. Rest in power, Eddie P. Hell yeah, gone too soon. Absolutely. We are going to dedicate the latter half of the show to Eddie P. We'll be talking about him very soon. Good to see you, Talk, as always. Good to see you back, brother. Rogue, what up? Station?
What's going on, Rogue?
Good to see you. Simpleton, dude, I got to shout out Simpleton, who got a shout out from fucking Rom D. On his Layla Star creation, sending process shots, dude. Well earned, well deserved. The whole world should know about this dude, his talents, just his passion for the art of comic books and making these incredible books and creations. So I'm so glad to see you get the love you deserve, bro. Rom V, that's big time. We got James Phelps in the building. What up, James?
What up, James?
So good to see you, bro. DC in the building. What up, DC? Good evening, all. Hell yeah, man. Catch us on the rewind if you can't catch us live. We appreciate you coming through and saying what up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got Christina in the building. Station, man. Good to see you as always. Hey. Hope you are doing well. And Edson, man. What up, Edson? Station, brother.
Edson, hell yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. R.I.P. Hell yeah. So good to see all of you guys tonight. Hope everybody is doing well, having a good week thus far. But yeah, it was another great week for comics. This was the Wednesday I was running to stores, man. I was looking forward to this particular drop date for quite a while because of this book right here. First and foremost, Absolute Martian Manhunter, man. Dennis Camp. We were talking about it last week. My favorite writer doing it. I picked Ultimates on that. We celebrated it on the monthly comic book review show. I picked Ultimates because I couldn't. Robbie got to this one first, but rightly so. But just seeing him teamed up with Javier after his work on Zatanna, we knew this one was going to be a heater. Of course, Haas the God on lettering. He's going to be on more than one of our books tonight. Like we said, he's a brand, man. It's a good book when Haas is on it. So expectations for this one going in, guys.
Sky high. Like they were like, I couldn't even see him, right? There was the clouds and then there were my expectations. So
absolutely. Nick, how about you, man?
I totally agree. Yeah, you look at the creative team here and Javier Rodriguez, like you said, coming off as Zatanna, that was incredible. I just cannot wait for more stuff from Javier. Dennis Camp killing it on multiple books at the same time right now. He's becoming a household name. And Haas, man, he's on every good book there is. So it's like you have three great creative teams. You have a trippy character, right? Martian Manhunter doesn't get a whole lot of love in today's continuity, getting a little bit in Justice League, but kind of a downer. And a combination of all these things seemed to be perfect. And it was a great issue number one.
It was. I feel like it met and exceeded them in every way. And Javier really just took off. But yeah, the color design was incredible. It's simple, but so effectively used and so creatively used in so many different ways. And the way he uses like the shape of this character, he was talking in an interview about using clay to kind of like literally mold it with his hands. And it feels very much like that. You get, it's very sensory. And I love that about the character. I love how vague and kind of atmospheric this character is, and this incarnation of the Martian, or whatever this thing truly turns out to be. But just using that simple color palette, just blew me away. The way he found so many ways to flip it with the smoke, like we have here with the lighter and the fingernails, the kids' toys that he was playing with, and then of course like all the crazy inhalation that we got with the smoke, and how like during his investigation that was starting to take him places, and kind of where our issue came to its crescendo. But yeah, what did you guys think of the color palette and him going from these kind of more reserved earthy tones to these just blasts of psychedelia?
Oh, it's incredible, man. Like I love the look of this book. I love the colors of this book. They're vibrant, they pop. And I can't remember who said it. I believe it might have been DC Patrol in his review of this book, but it was very reminiscent of a Velvet Underground album cover. And it didn't click with me right away, because I know the Velvet Underground cover has the banana on it. But I was like, which one is he talking about? Which one is he talking about? And I'm sorry, I've been distracted because I've been looking it up, and holy crap, it's like identical. It's so freaking close. So I love that they're pulling on that old school, not just comic book, like old school aesthetic though, for the artwork as well in this book. And then again, the color palette that they're using and the level of restraint that they have on that really makes everything, it like demands the attention of your eye. So like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's still, like you said, it like manages to pull off like a noir type vibe almost. It's really great. Like even when he kind of weaves back and forth with the colors. But yeah, Nick, how about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, I love anything that has to do with like hidden auras that can only be perceived by certain people, and they're kind of going insane because of it, and it's due to some kind of transformation. And that's exactly what this was. This guy, we're taken on a journey. This guy trying to just live his life, but he has this like melancholy vibe now, and he doesn't quite understand it. And the whole world starts changing around him, and he thinks he's going insane, so to speak. And it's just kind of his powers manifesting a little bit more throughout the issue. And it was an absolute visual treat going through and seeing this. And yeah, we see it from time to time. People who can kind of like read minds, and they're in a crowd situation, and they can like perceive all these people's thoughts, and it's a little bit cool. This took that in a whole different direction, where it kind of showed like the auras in that top right corner there in that box, and then a little bit of that mind reading as well. So it was a somewhat familiar concept from that perspective, but it was a visual treat landed on top of that, and it was just such a great time.
Yeah, it's dope. Like, I love how the story of it all. Like, I thought, like, the stuff with his son, how out of touch, like kind of and distant he is as a husband and a father, how he's so attached to the job, and like how when the book kind of flips the switch when he's in that woman's apartment interviewing her about her son, the suicide bomber whose explosion he somehow miraculously survived being right close to. We see him start to inhale all this smoke and fumes, and like as he is doing so, he's learning things about this woman. He's seeing memories of this kid, like she has of the kid, and is almost like living through her, and it's very powerful. And then he's like you said, Nick, he's like completely transformed, and with everything he's seeing and picking up. But I love the humanity of John Jones in the story, and like how attached he was to his job, and just all his cases were going to suffer and then he's going back and telling his wife something completely different.
Yeah, I got to go back. Sorry.
Yeah. I almost took it as like a lack of humanity from him, because he was so ingrained with the job, like the duty, like do it. Where the Martian Manhunter character, like the influence is kind of like opening up a level of humanity, because he's making those, like forcing those connections on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like sometimes he had to be jostled out of it. Like I feel like he was just going through the motions. So like when he came out. Like I love that scene when he's got his sunglasses on and she's trying to get a reaction out of him. Like you could have almost died, and she's so worried about him, and he's just so blind to it until he kind of pulls himself out of that moment. I definitely I like that flip though, for sure.
Yeah.
And I love the like what Haas does with the lettering when this thing speaks. You know, just the how he's able to make it look foreign yet familiar, and how it's kind of you can kind of take that ride with it as it's learning. You know what human beings are like. I thought that was super dope.
Yeah.
Like the poor little things that burn themselves just to feel alive or something like that. There was that one sequence. Yeah, I thought it was incredible. But yeah, here towards the end, I love, also the physicality of holding the comic book up to the light and being able to see through one page to the next. It was just incredible. Such a great story. But yeah, as he's kind of becomes possessed by this thing so much that it kind of physically incapacitates him there for a minute, and he kind of has a face-to-face. We are the Martian Manhunter, it tells him at the end. But yeah, is that
what he says at the end though? Is it though?
What does he say? What am I wrong?
The Martian,
he's the Martian mind.
Oh, yeah.
Mind effort. Yeah.
All apologies. Yeah. But I just love the abstract art look of that final panel there with the alien. Yeah, just front page to last. It was such a joy to read, and checked all the boxes for me. I can't wait to see where do you guys think the story is heading, and what do you think this possession is ultimately going to mean for John? I don't see there's no like big bad in this thing, like all these other Absolute books have had, some other, big evil supervillain. I feel like they're fighting. This is more ambiguous, where he's just trying to. It's kind of more like slice of life type of stuff. So I'm curious to see how, what his story is going to be as far as integration into the Absolute universe, as it were. What do y'all think? Where y'all think it's headed? I guess.
So. I think, and this could be the influence on what I'm, based on what I'm currently reading now, but our main character was caught in this explosion, and upon that explosion happening, that's when all of these other things start occurring, right? The influence of the Martian Manhunter, and kind of like you were saying, the inhalation of the smoke, and like him being able to manifest all these different powers. Do y'all think that maybe our detective isn't really our detective anymore? Is this maybe an Alec Holland Swamp Thing type of situation, where it's really just like the Martian Manhunter truly like taking over, and maybe kind of like slowly but surely taking over the the psyche of this person?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like since the explosion. I think it had something to do with the explosion, right? And like it saved him, or
definitely, yeah. Well, it did something, right?
Yeah.
He hulked out at the last minute, you know what I mean, and then just saved himself somehow. Yeah.
But it seemed like this whole issue was him getting familiar with his new host, more or less. Yeah, I could definitely see it going in that direction for sure.
I think we're going to see. I'm almost not interested in a bad guy in the story, because I think it would be cool for them to figure out a way to coexist, like a Venom kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And then he just goes about his life and goes on cases that are really weird, and then the Martian needs to kind of understand the human psyche a little bit more, and they have to kind of coexist and and live their life in a way. I think that would be a cool exploration, just do like a day in a life kind of thing and just let that roll out. I mean, eventually you got to add a threat, but maybe he turns more into like somebody who's actually chasing down these villains and taking them out and things like that. And then maybe the threats escalate over time or something like that. But I almost don't care about a villain. I just want to see more about this character and how they interact with the world.
Yeah.
So,
and it's curious, like, as his one big weakness is fire. And I love, like, this page on the left is how the story starts. It starts in fire. And like, that's kind of dope to see that kind of like be the genesis of the issue here. So
and that's what I was about to say too. And like, knowing the nature of story and the nature of comics themselves too, like, you have to imagine that this is going to be a little bit cyclical, right? I'm sure that whatever the threat is going to come full circle to the origin point of our character right here, and kind of be the catalyst of all this happening here. There's something's going to come back around that caused the explosion that's going to be explored by the end of our first arc.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it affects his relationship with his family and how that changes with this creature alongside him. You know, kind of sitting in the passenger seat. So yeah, killer debut though. Everything I wanted it to be. I haven't read the. I know they paired this kind of with Absolute Green Lantern. You guys read that? Have any early thoughts on that?
I read it
got
today.
like 2 pages into it. Yeah, I haven't read it fully yet. So really, they go hand in hand a little bit.
Well, you know, they're the second wave, right?
Oh,
just
okay. I see what you mean.
In that sense, I think with Flash. What did you think, Nick? Just generally.
Well, I'll start with I'm pretty weak in the Lantern lore and everything. Like I understand some of the main characters and things like that. I will say it starts with a crisis and people are trying to figure out what's going on, and our typical Lantern characters in their human form are trying to figure out what's happening, and they kind of get their powers through that kind of a event and things like that. So if it's like human versions of the characters having to deal with a crisis and they get imbued now with power, that's kind of the same format, I would say. So it's the same from that perspective. But I mean, Green Lantern was okay, but I don't have a whole lot of stake with those characters right now, so I can't really compare it to a whole lot. So, but it was fine. It was fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm cautiously optimistic, man. Like before Batman, before Superman, before anyone, like Green Lantern was like really my introduction back in the day to the DC universe with Emerald Dawn, with Hal Jordan becoming the bad guy, becoming Parallax, and Kyle Rayner taking over the reins of being the Green Lantern of this sector. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm really hoping that I enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah, the couple of preview pages I saw look like it's definitely going to trend a little darker. Is that right, Nick? Is it is it going a little darker than normal?
There are some violent moments in it, but it's more like suspense. I don't want to give away too much, but it's like maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's definitely a grounded issue 1, and it's got a lot of mystery around it, and then there's mysterious cosmic forces that are landing, and what do we do about it, and what does it mean, and things like that. So there's some things in there. I mean, yeah.
But I think it's clear to say that this is definitely, I think, the winner out of the second wave of these books. And
yeah,
I don't know. Well, do they have any more plans for any more Absolute titles?
Yeah. What else have they got?
Oh, really?
I thought they did.
Oh, wow.
I gotta go find out real quick.
Yeah, well, I'll keep it pushing it as you do. We got Absolute Wonder Woman #6. Speaking of Absolute books, Kelly Thompson, Mattia de Iluis doing some fantastic fill-in work on this one. Becky Carey, another killer issue. Right, guys? I mean, this was absolutely ridiculous.
It shouldn't have worked out as well as it did. It just honestly shouldn't have. Like we talk about fill-in artists, and we're like, damn it, like again, why? But like, nah, man, I dug this a lot.
So epic. It was and it was such the right tone for the story they're telling. And I love all the depictions from Hades to especially Prometheus. Prometheus was incredible, but then also the basilisk at the end. How Cersei looked all tied up in chains. But yeah, this one basically goes through Diana being, brought before Hades, stripped of everything that could be considered a weapon to offer, which is a considerable bit. She gets to, she doesn't strip all the way down, but she has to take everything up. Yeah. And I love that little side bit when, Hades was like, you definitely didn't vet her properly. She still got plenty on she could cause a problem with.
Didn't she have like the tiara or something like that? She had something on her, and they were like, "Yeah, exactly. You didn't vet her very
well." It's like those scenes from like detective or cop shows where like, don't forget the ankle gun.
Right.
Yeah, just kept pulling out piece by piece. You definitely felt that way when she pulled this big ass sword out of the bag. That was like my that was definitely the best part. And I also loved when Hades' little minion tried to pick up Nemesis.
She's like, I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah, and it was like it was such a great and there was such a great looking piece of art by US. But yeah, so we talk about Diana's trespass. She went to Mount Prometheus on the borders of myth and reality, and she freed Prometheus. Gave him some R&R, gave him this pouch that would replenish. Basically a bottomless pouch that he could drink from, and cut his chains off. I particularly like the part where the big ass bird came down to eat at Prometheus, as they do every day. If you know the lore, the gods punished him for giving humans fire by chaining them to the mountain, and every day the birds come and peck out his guts. And so but she brought the bird to her and had the conversation with it. I thought that was just such a beautiful moment, man. And so on brand for Diana. I love when it's approached and she's like, "Hello, sister." It's moments like that are fantastic. Little things like that definitely make this book. And for as big as this art was, it was like all these little moments that Ilias pulled off, like all the little subtle like facial expressions, the back and forth between Prometheus and Diana. I thought when the conversation, how much he respected her and her upbringing by Cersei, and just how overall impressed he was. And but she got, was this for Nemesis that she got the blood of Prometheus? I forgot what it specifically it was.
I think
for.
so.
I believe so. Yeah, that one, and then the green one, forget the name, was the one from the Basilisk.
For the Basilisk.
Yeah, but she confessed that she was not there.
Not a social visit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think she said something like, "I'm not here without selfish intent" or something.
Of course, it's very poetic and polite. Yeah,
that's her style.
Yeah. But she ends up getting her vial of blood. But yeah, it was a brilliant scene, brilliant back and forth. And then our Act 3 is her battle with the basilisk, and Hades is kind of stressed to learn that she killed the last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this has all been very educational, if theoretical. Theoretical? You think I did not do these things? Like, I love the back and forth. Also, when after she kills the basilisk, she's like, "Rest easy. May you find the peace that eluded you in this world." And you're like, who does that, bro? Who kills the giant ass snake? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me flip the art.
That's what makes her such a special character, though, man. That's
her core character again.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing that Kelly Thompson has done so well with each and every issue, is like making sure she's got to do badass things, and she's got to make choices that are like not going to be the greatest, but she's just so like pure. I guess that's the best way I can say. She's so like pure with all of her intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and forgive me, I completely skipped over Prometheus gifting her Pegasus. We learned that's how she got.
That was such a great moment.
Yeah,
it was incredible, man. Him coming out of the what, the lava, the fire of Mount Prometheus. Like, does it get better than that?
It's epic.
Reborn. Super badass. So
it was cool. It was cool how they set up the origin of Pegasus previously in the other issues, talking about Medusa and all this stuff. And then, so we had that little backstory in case you're not familiar with the story. Like, I relearned that again when I was reading this book, and then I had to do some research. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then you see more of it right here too. So it's like, it's just kind of hearkening back to that initial origin that we got a couple issues ago. So it just makes it even that more special.
It does, man. It really was. It's such a cool moment. And yeah, man, I'm so invested in Pegasus. I'm gonna be crushed. I'm gonna be crushed if we go up against another like Tetracide and he doesn't fare so well. Man,
how soon are you gonna change your channel name to Peggy's Fan Club rather than like Dr. Doom's Fan Club? Are we close?
He was on. I don't know. No, we're not that close. We're not that close.
Not that close.
Nah, not that close. I mean, he was on. She had him on mosquito duty at one point during the Tetracide fight. I don't know if y'all remember, but there's one like great shot of him, and he's just like zapping it with his eyes, like just being annoying as shit.
Yep. It's distracting him or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. But so he's a ride or die. Yeah, can't beat old Peggy. Real quick, man, I want to say what up to Edson. Edson said, I thought he died, and now he's the Martian with the memories and the body of the human.
I mean, it could be
that's where my brain is going.
He might, yeah. There's a duality there that is conflicting, right? And we're shifting more towards the one side throughout the book, so that might be the case. Yeah, there's some memories still there, right, that we're fighting against.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk said he heard, or no, he said I heard it's ongoing, not just to 12, but
at first it was 6, then it got bumped to maybe 12, maybe more. More than 6 is what we know.
Dennis said there's plenty of story to tell.
He said the same thing with Sword and Crisis events too. Dude's so busy, man. He's gonna be. I don't know how he's gonna have time to write all these.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
only if Javier. Yeah, like you can't make
bask in the glory.
You gotta have Javier there with you.
It makes me worried. Yeah, yeah.
Omega.
What's up, Omega?
Good to see you. All right, yeah, but here at the end we get our crazy climax. He's got Cersei all chained up. And this was a badass scene again. I love the bright neon blue. Looks so cool. Look, like I loved his look with the crown. It just ruled. And yeah, her eyes there. Also, I forgot to mention, I love, the fight with the basilisk, how she blinded herself or whatever.
Yeah. She blinds herself so she can't be messed up by it. So she's like, whatever, screw it. I'm coming for you.
That was so dope. But yeah, man, I don't know. Dire circumstances here at the end. What do you think? I don't know. But like we said, this book's all about where I said.
I think Cersei can hold her own, man. I think that she's put herself in this position, and they're just like, all right, you ready? And Diana's gonna be like, yeah, I'm ready. And then those chains are gonna pop. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they're
really. You think so?
I really do. I don't think this is the end, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but like, come on.
I don't think
two of them teaming up against Hades. That would be amazing.
It will, yeah, it will be, man. But like the tears welled up in her eyes, man. Like I'm fully invested. I'm like the person that's like on the edge of my seat, going, "No, how could this be happening? Save her!"
They can't. Yeah, we gotta keep Cersei around. And plus, I kind of agree with Nick because Cersei's nothing to fuck with, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
The two of them,
chains, dude. It's a lot of chains.
Okay.
At the same time, he's allowed them to grow this power in their own little corner of hell. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing their thing and kind of tending their garden. So
I was gonna say they got an island this big in hell. He has hell, so he
it's
can't
something.
Not be powerful.
It's good to own land, even in hell, I guess. But I just imagine all those weapons are on the floor. So if Cersei does get out, they have access to everything, all the lassos, the Cloud's sword, right, or whatever.
Yeah, no kidding.
They have access to everything right there. So that would be an epic fight. Oh, with this artist too, Jesus.
In Kelly, I trust, man. Whatever ends up happening, like she's proven us, like I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm very, very confident of that.
Yeah, at this point, it's like it's almost a crime that I feel like that it took this long for the world to make this happen, to get Kelly on a Diana book. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to see that, she's here and she's killing it, because I felt like this was fated, and man, she's best absolute book on stands for me.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I love that in the sense of scale. We talked about it a little bit too, but with the basilisk fight and with Prometheus and things like that, like, and the like the kaiju we saw in the beginning, like this book has a great sense of scale to it, and just, I mean, look at that when she's charging right into the mouth of that thing while it's coming at her. Like that is just such a badass moment. And then Prometheus as well when she's walking up. We'll get to more of that later too, but like this book does a really good job of putting her up against some insanely large threats and making that perspective work. And you feel that danger and that weight of those characters, So
and they do a great job at the inverse of that too. Because think about the early issues when Hayden was doing the artwork, when she's approaching the generals, right, in the military, she towers over all.
Yeah, she's like
them.
a foot and a half taller than all of them.
It's so great.
It's
even
really,
everyone
really
else, like she's like
awesome.
looking down upon them. It's fantastic. Yeah, but then
so cool.
Yeah, these fights, then they're not afraid to make her like this big.
Yeah.
Look here, little boy. This is what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna pat you on the head. You're gonna shut your mouth.
I'm gonna make the whole city deaf. All right.
Yeah.
Like what? All right. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Next up, guys. Special segment. New Make a Splash. This is about our favorite splash pages of the week. So let's get to it. Like I said, favorite splash pages of the week. I'm gonna send it to E. E, you're gonna lead us off with your favorite splashes of the week, brother.
I'm going to kick things off here as soon as it pops up here for us with Department of Truth. Department of Truth had 3 really great splash pages that really spelled out the whole idea behind the book, which was the times in which Lee Harvey Oswald told the truth. It really kind of explains the ramifications of what happened here when he was doing that with the Nixon administration. Not only that, but when Nixon became too powerful and he had to pull back that truth and kind of let the greater society know exactly what was going on behind that. But now in modern times, we're seeing that he is kind of in a place again where he has to reveal that truth. And that truth, as you can see, is about to get pretty wild and crazy.
Oh yeah, Nick. How about you?
Followed up with we're taking everyone down with us. That was a great book. Matthew Rosenberg on this one. I think Stefano Landini, I think, is the artist on this one, if I'm not mistaken how to pronounce that. But that was an insanely good book too. A girl working with her dad, and there's lots of robots and stuff. And that was an incredible page showing those robots kind of coming to her aid. Of course, we just talked about Wonder Woman with the sense of scale with Prometheus as Diana's walking up to the mountain right there, and he's all chained up. The lighting effect in this book was incredible as well. So just such a great visual treat with that one.
Yeah, man. And finally, Absolute Martian Manhunter. Javier, just come on. Look at this. Crazy, trippy, everything you want from this book. Just a blast of psychedelic. What did Robbie call it? Psychedelic noir. That's a great term for this book. Yep. I think that's dead on. But yeah, man, it just feels like a throwback, but also new in all the best ways. And his use of color in this was astounding. So Martian Vision for me. That's Make a Splash, guys.
I remember you. Oh, sexy. Hey, girls.
There it is.
Hamilton Porter will never not bring a smile to my face.
Right?
Yep.
Omega's on point. Yeah. Oiling and lotioning. Lotioning and oiling.
Taking it anymore.
Which was the man. Mike, what up, bro?
Yes.
Good to see you. Station, bro. Station. Yeah, so y'all enjoyed that one. That was fun, guys. That was fun.
That was great.
That was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for doing that with me. All right. So finally, we're gonna kind of switch gears for a minute. April 1st was the 1-year anniversary of the death of Ed Piskor, and I wanted to be here tonight with the homies and spend the second half of the show celebrating Ed's life and legacy. The way we lost him was awful, and he was gone way too soon, and just reminiscing on that day was not all good memories. So bittersweet, but I wanted to have the bros here with me to talk about all the incredible body of work he left us with, not just when it comes to comic books, but also with cartoonist kayfabe and the culture that he helped build there. So I don't know, Ed, for me, just talking about how I came in contact with him, it was definitely on cartoonist kayfabe when I started getting back into comics in 2020. I don't know, was that y'all's, when was y'all's first contact with Ed, and when did he first come into your purview?
I don't remember necessarily. It was probably around that time. Yeah. Because I'm sure like a lot of us were just kind of like Googling comic book stuff, and it just happened to pop up one day, and then you watch one episode and you're like, damn, these guys are insightful. I need to keep binging this. And you realize they have hundreds of videos, even, you know what I mean? Over time, they got like 1,700 or more. It was incredible. Yeah, I just love the insight. It was probably around that same time.
Yeah, I remember seeing them break down an issue of Wizard magazine, right? And like if you were reading comic books back in the day, man, I remember being like 8, 9, 10 years old, having a Wizard magazine in my back pocket, kind of sneaking around and looking at it at the lunch table, make sure nobody was watching, because reading comics wasn't necessarily cool at the time. But seeing other people appreciate the same things that I appreciate back in the day was it was just awesome. It was great to have a sense of camaraderie that through the screen that I didn't have in real life.
Absolutely. Yeah, he I love how it started as kind of like just two buddies going through old Wizard magazines, and turned into like these guys not only going over cool ass comic books from the 90s and all sorts of other things that they put me onto, but it really became a a crazy profound like weekly exposition on the art of drawing and cartooning. You know what I mean? Like we got such insight. Like I think I told E not too long ago, one of my favorite memories from a Cartoonist Kayfabe episode was when they had Brian Bolland on. I think they were going through like the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
And
that was a great episode.
Yeah. And it was early on, and I forget what the comment, one of them, was either Ed or Jim made some comment, and Brian was just like, man, you guys really know what you guys are really about this. You really know what you're talking about. It was just like great to see that look of realization on his face, like he was amongst Ken. So yeah, and like not only that, but just, man, like the amount of cool stuff I bought after seeing the kayfabe effect, right?
Yeah.
After seeing it was so real. Like there has been nothing, before or since that has influenced my comic book buying, like an episode of Cartoonist Kayfabe. And even like, like I found Amanda Connor and Palmiotti's The Pro off an episode of the K, and like, that's what I loved about it. It was like it would be super affordable. They didn't and I loved how they always advocated the reading of comic books. I remember they have the Liefeld New Mutants issues out and be like, we got thousands of dollars of comic books here.
Dude, you never saw a bag or a board anywhere when they were talking comic books.
No.
Ever. Never. Yeah. It was like sacrilege.
It was beautiful that way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, real quick, man, just to do the Ed rundown. In his 41 years of life, Ed Piskor was a tireless creative and champion for comic books, cartooning, and hip hop. After getting his break illustrating for Harvey Piskor on 3 books throughout the 2000s, and these were American Splendor, Our Movie Year. I think this was in 2004, guys. And then Macedonia, I think in 2007, and the Beats in 2009, I want to say. This was kind of how Ed made his name, kind of sending art off to Harvey, and Harvey liked it and put him on the spot, I think, as I remember it.
Yeah, that's very like, that's very like Klaus and Crumb inspired covers. Look at those.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. And I just love his, I always loved his do-it-yourself ethic. You know what I mean? Like he always got it up out of the mud. He was not afraid to put the work in. The guy loved to work. He loved to be at the drawing board. He loved to be working. So, he was super prolific. He really didn't take a break after that. He created WYSIWYG, which was a comic book series about a prodigy who becomes fascinated with social engineering, phone phreaking, and eventually computer hacking. That's one I came back to really late. That's one Yeah, I didn't. Did you know about that one? Y'all know about that one at all early on?
I think I think I knew about it. I didn't know about it when it was coming out, but as I was watching the channel, it was definitely one of those grail pieces I wanted to get one day because it was hardcover. It looked like an old computer, you know what I mean? Like when you're feeling it, it's like embossed or debossed or whatever. And it was definitely a grail piece that I was hunting down after I knew it existed, when I was getting Red Room and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's like one of his first really his first create our own things, and already you could see he was leaning in that outlaw subversive direction.
Oh sure.
Yeah. So his next 2 projects would really put him on the map. We had Hip Hop Family Tree, which won an Eisner eventually. His award-winning historical account of the birth of hip hop, its major players, and its cultural impact began in 2012 as a strip on the website Boing Boing, being published almost weekly for 3 years straight, and later in collected form by Fantagraphics. And yeah, this is the one that he gained national attention for. Yeah, man, this one is special, so unique. Have you guys read this one start to finish yet?
Not start to finish. No, I'm halfway through it right now, though.
It's amazing.
I haven't gotten all the way through it just yet. Yeah, it's very dense, and it jumps around a lot, and it touches on a lot of characters. Man, it's like every page you get introduced to 10 more people and how they've mixed together and all that stuff. So it's a great account for sure.
Yeah, he was talking about that. Like that's one of the things. Like I think when he first started to trust himself was to be able to go like one panel to the next in like a 5-year jump and
Right,
trust, trust for people to keep up. But yeah, I think it's awesome, and you can see like the bones there for X-Men Grand Design, which would come next. But I love how the moments like he chose to pick throughout, and what always surprises me is like how much into the old school the guy knows. Like there's so much of that for me, and hip hop is a blind spot, especially the stuff in the early 80s and all that. And like how, like you said, Nick, how dense it is, how like he has that great breakdown of like that 10-minute Grandmaster Flash record. And you know, there's like, I don't know, there's just so many crazy moments that I wasn't hip to that I appreciate this book for kind of you know, putting me on to because like I said, like the birth of Def Jam and all that stuff has always fascinated me. Wild Style, I have seen that movie, but like yeah, man, this was a little bit before my time, so it's so dope to see it all in collected form. I know, Nick, you got like the Omni.
Yeah, I'll show that off. Yeah. I like how this has the index too. Like so in the back of these books, and maybe I don't know if it's in the Omni or if it's in the treasuries or in the single issues too, but like you can go into the back of at least the Omni. There's all the different rappers that are in there, so you can find the one you want, and you can go right to that page and read that little snippet. It's just a really cool part. It takes up so much space because there's so many.
He's like
so many people he covers.
And like the same thing in X-Men Grand Design, man, the amount of like attention he puts into the back matter, and like if you really want to do your homework, all the issues you can go and look up. It's incredible.
That's true. Yeah. All the references.
It's so nuts. It had to be such a massive undertaking.
Dude, and the amount of knowledge that he has, right? Because he conveyed it with the comic book knowledge that he had every single episode that they did, but showing the amount of like hip hop knowledge that he has here, the dude knows more in a single issue or a single episode of any of this stuff. Like he knows more than I like ever would know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I've seen you know, my fair share of hip hop documentaries and you know stuff on. I've seen Wild Style a number of times and stuff like that, but there's like I don't think there's anything like this comprehensive out there that really kind of covers so many of the early bases of the foundation of, you know, coming.
I think that's why it's so highly regarded, man.
Exactly.
It's a historical piece, right? Putting everything together and
because if more educational information was conveyed this way, I would be a freaking scholar. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, because I think he like what he really deserves props for is a lot of this stuff. I think what it is, you know, he picked up off of conversations, interviews, and word of mouth, and it would have, if you wouldn't have captured it and, you know, put it into the book, I don't know if those stories would have lived on the way they will now. So
there's just been lost to time, right?
Absolutely. Because there's definitely, you know, evidence and history of some of this stuff, but not all of it. So
yeah.
All right. Moving on after that, man. Of course, we got 2017. We got X-Men Grand Design, which streamlined the entire history of the Children of Adam and unique and entertaining historic amalgam. And then after that, there was the raw and raunchy Red Room about mayhem, murder, the deep quarters of the dark web. And at the time of his passing, he was working on the unfinished Switchblade shorties, which was I think he was gonna release in strip form. You know, always at home as a cartoonist. So out of those, which ones are standouts for y'all? There's there's some you like more than others, or
Nick, why don't you go ahead and take this one first?
I think WYSIWYG is my favorite thing that he's done. After reading that one, I read the whole thing in just a couple of mornings, like between the weekly things. It's such a great, compelling story about this kid who just does not know what to do with this power that he has, this knowledge and this ability that he matures over time, and he just gets himself in trouble, and it's the destruction of this guy's world because of that. And so I love it. It's kind of a period piece. It's you know, a little bit pre-internet in a way. He's utilizing like phone booths and things like that, and the phone networks to do some early hacking and things. And so it's a really interesting book. that kind of puts you back in that mindset, that technology mindset. So I think that's a really cool book, and the presentation was great. And the opening page of this, it says, dedicated to you, the readers, you're figuratively and literally holding my past, present, and future in your hands, or something like that. And I read WYSIWYG right after he passed. I got it, and there's a whole story behind it, but I got it right after he passed, and I read it. And I turned the cover, and that's what you see, that, dear readers, you're literally holding my life in your hands, kind of thing. And I was like, oh shit, you just got to be kidding me. And then I read the story, and I just was sad the entire time, regardless of that was like the intention of the book, because it is a dramatic book, and it's, you're witnessing this kid's life pretty much get dissolved. So that was something else. And then, Red Room I was reading as it was coming out. I don't think volume 1, but maybe one of the subsequent ones, Trigger Warnings or Crypto or something, maybe Trigger Warnings. And I was reading that one as it was coming out. So it was fun to get those books into the hall at my shop going, what the hell is this? Like, what is this stuff right here, man? You're the only person buying this. Of course it's yours. They didn't even have to look who pulled it. They just knew it was mine, because I get weird stuff sometimes. And man, yeah. So, I mean, Red Room was great. Many different volumes. Hip hop, I'm still getting into at the moment. Grand Design, I'm still collecting all those. I haven't dipped into that just yet, but yeah.
Let me ask you: was Red Room? Red Room was my first Ed comic. What was your first Ed?
I think it was the same. Yeah, I think Trigger Warnings.
Because like that's what he was selling when he was doing kayfabe. Yeah, I think Trigger Warnings.
Yeah, I think that's volume 2, right? I think Crypto's volume 3. Yeah,
man. That was my intro. That was wild. It was wild picking up a Red Room for the first time. How about you, E? You got any Red Room down there?
Not this guy, no, man. No, I'm sorry, man. Red Room was way too gnarly.
I know what I'm bringing you for heroes.
I know
exactly where my limits are, and I was just like, oh, I'm sorry, Eddie. That's not for me. Hip hop was definitely for me. X-Men is definitely for me. So those were my introductions. Specifically, the X-Men Grand Design. I thought that was just like such a cool thing. And for me, they had the Treasury editions back in the day, but like it was like in this period of time where like I couldn't get those. They came out before my collecting time, and to go searching for them was like, it's just something that wasn't going to happen, basically. So to have that kind of format for something that I loved so much, like the X-Men, and going back through the history of them, like this was just like right in my sweet spot of everything that I enjoyed about comics. And honestly, like in my journey in becoming a collector again, this is probably arguably like my first large format thing that I got. Because these suckers are big, right? This is like, it's not like an artist edition necessarily, but like you're really not far off to having, the artwork at a large scale like that. So man, yeah, it just opened up a lot of different avenues for me as a collector.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a special one, man. It's like I said, it's just it's an like a monumental work, but just like when you see that he read every X-Men issue ever, and streamlined it all in his head, picked out all the moments he wanted to use, and tried to make it a story that you could digest and understand. Was fucking
make it all work linear.
Huge like undertaking. That. Yeah. Like, and you're just years and years of his life, just sitting at that drawing table every day with the discipline of it. I remember him talking about staying home and drawing when his sister had a destination wedding, and he did not go. He stayed home.
Right. Yeah. It's like I got deadlines. I can't. Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, as heartbreaking as it was, like when the news was kind of confirmed and we knew everything, like the greatest thing that I saw was the reaction from the art world, where they were all kind of like, they all came together and they all kind of just banded together and said like, stop mourning, get off your ass and go draw. Because if you think that he would want you to take a second off of what your goal was, which was to be at the drawing table and doing your project, then you didn't know this person. Like, seeing that reaction from every single person, like it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man, it's just, it sucks too. Like, cause at the time of his passing, I was just listening to the Peter Bagg interview he did this morning. That was, not too long before it happened, and he was talking about that art show that he was going to have in Pittsburgh that was going to display all those pieces from Hip Hop Family Tree.
Did he have a mural as well that he was working on or something like that, or finishing? Yeah.
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 So I think that did eventually get revealed, didn't it?
I think so. I think the mural did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The art
unfortunately,
show was in the
art
works.
show. Yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunate because you know it seemed like his star was only rising. I think kayfabe was sky was the limit as far as that channel was concerned with the things they were doing and the conversations what they were having with all those different artists. I don't know, so many different people they put me on to.
Well, and Stu, I think it was you and me that were talking, man. But this is the great thing. Like we talk about comics and how like the best comics are evergreen comics. Dude, I find myself watching or listening actually to episodes, maybe even more so than I ever did when they were coming out. Like I'm driving home from work and I'll pop an episode on and just listen to the conversations because like they never get old. And they're always going to be relevant and have something to say. So like they're always going to be there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's what, you know, when we talk about his legacy, I mean, he left an extensive one, you know, like we said, not only with the books, but that library of videos, man, there's so much gold there. There really is to go back and revisit time and time again, even if it's a video you've already seen. So, yeah, I know it hasn't been an easy road back to watching kayfabe videos, you know, for me, but yeah, man, I don't know. I've been watching a lot here recently and just interviews with Ed, and I don't know. It just makes me sad. I saw one the other day, and I was telling y'all, like, he was there at the drawing board talking about this, how much he loved the smell of the ink, and the guy was just he was just so passionate for this is all he wanted to do. Like this is all, you know, he just wanted to make comics and talk about comics until he couldn't anymore. So and he did that, you know, but in a sense he had so much more to give us, and it's unfortunate that we didn't get that. But
it's taken me a while to go back to the channel, you know, and watch some stuff. Like I honestly, I probably only watched maybe two or three episodes. I think I rewatched a couple of the TMNT ones just because they were so insightful. And I just love revisiting those ones with Eastman and Laird. Those are really fun. But outside of two or three of those, I probably haven't watched much more than that in the past 10 months, you know, and just in the last couple of weeks, I started watching more and more of it just because it's more on the mind as it's being an anniversary and everything.
Yeah.
But you kind of touched on this a little bit, Stu, when you were talking about just like how insightful everyone was and how they influence people's collections and things like that through the kayfabe effect and everything. It's almost like they kind of had the answers to a test and everyone was just tuning in to kind of get those answers because they exposed so many cool things to people that otherwise we would never even knew existed.
That's so true.
And it's like now that that's gone, there's a void there that no one else is filling still, you know, and when preparing for this, we'll get to some show and tell in a little bit. Preparing for this, I was looking around my room and I'm like, I have more things I bought because of them than I do of their own work.
That's a great call.
And I'm looking around.
I should have compiled all those books instead.
That would have been a different.
It wouldn't have been possible, you know. And I'm looking around the room and I actually made a list, but like pretty much anything Frank Miller. I have some Jansen stuff. Dark Horse Presents, my Turtle stuff. Crumb.
Backstage, I was showing you guys this, and like the honest to God truth is, I wouldn't have bought this like if it weren't for the show. Like,
dude,
I mean,
even like y'all are talking about great comic books. I bought the Glow in the Dark Superman issue because of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they went over like the corny 90s stuff too. That wasn't necessarily isn't considered timeless classics, but that I loved and forgot about. Like
it's still cultural touchstones. Though,
absolutely,
you know?
Yes. Yeah. It was like that's what I loved about it. It was cool in a way that like they gave a fuck about like great comics and great art, but they also they love the cool shit too. Like, you know what I mean? It was such a great mix of both. And yeah, like you said, Nick, that hole is gigantic because and you saw it when guys interviewed with him, like they knew their shit, and I feel like they got kind of elevated experiences out of their guests and the artists they had on that show than they would normally get otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, I think part of their magic was that they weren't trying to be an influence on people, and that's what in turn made it so influential, right? And then they tuned into that and they realized what was happening, and then it became part of the brand and part of what they were doing. So it was like they hit the sweet spot just so perfectly. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. They're doing so many great things. So
well, and they had the Patreon too. So like so for those who don't know, they used to record all their videos on Thursday. So Thursday morning, bright and early, man, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd start making coffee, start making my daughter's lunch before school, and I would tune the guys in because that's when they would be going, and they would record their top-down videos, but they had a separate camera to the side, kind of showing the half of the room where they would both be sitting, and you can see the book, and they would talk to the audience in between books, and they would say like, all right, guys, we're going to do this one next. So, if you want to go look it up or pull it out, and you can flip through it while we're doing stuff, and their guests would be there too. And they would record all their videos on Thursday morning, and then whoever's turn it was that week, they would take the raw files home and they'd splice it up and make their individual episodes, and they would post them every single day. So that was their process, and it was kind of cool to hear them bitch about their technology, their camera's not working, Apple whatever is not working well today, and they'd be refocusing, and they'd have hard cuts sometimes, and it was cool to see the production of the show. And there was a point. At some point, like you'd watch that all day, right, until 12 or something like local time, and then you'd watch the other episodes as they came out because it was kind of fun to see like the
finished product,
right?
That's awesome.
In a format that you used to, take in before, and so that was really interesting. And it got to the point where I was like hearing their voices in my head, like as I'm like laying down to go to bed at night, because you just hear that voice so much. And that was a weird experience, hearing those voices, after he passed, for like days after. You're like, God, I'm watching too much of their stuff.
Man,
I can hear him talking about line work and panels and shading and look at this, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. But it was the place to get information and to get recommendations and just be aware of cool shit. So.
Absolutely. So many like random cool ass comics that they spotlighted. Yeah, but I remember the first time I watched an episode in quite a while, and that like theme music came on. That
like,
man,
iconic.
Like, yeah. That got me. But what say you, gents? Should we do some show and tell? Show off our Ed Piskor books?
Sure.
Yeah. Do we let Nick go first and see how long this takes, or do we?
It's not that long. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, man.
But tell you what, I only have a handful. If you guys don't mind,
I'll blow you up. Hold on, I'll blow you up.
Like, very honestly, we're gonna be here all of like 30 seconds here. I forgot to grab my X-Men Grand Design. You might be able to see them right there, but outside of that. My collection really comes by way of the Treasury editions here. So I got Hip Hop Family Tree Treasury Edition Volume 1 and Volume 2. So I'm still on the hunt for Volumes 3 and 4. But to show you guys what Nick was referring to in the back here, it's got the the breakdown of like where everyone's at, where you can go find them. Mm-hmm. Got some Africa Mabata right there. Just amazing stuff, man. Even if you're not a hip hop head, like I think you're gonna find like a big level of enjoyment from that. Outside of that, guys, like I'm still on the hunt for things, but I will say I just got this recently.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It is absolutely stunning. If you have a chance to get your hands on this, I think it's at least temporarily sold out right now. But if you have a chance to get this, here, hold on, it's worthwhile. Let me pop the sucker out and just show up.
Yeah, there's like 25 artists or something like that helped collaborate on that.
Yeah,
right.
This is the first page that I popped open to, and holy cow! It took me all of 30 seconds to go, oh my God, this is the best thing in my life right now. We got the Frank Miller homage over here, or I should say the David Mazzucchelli homage. How to Draw Comics the Marvel way here, just so sick. It's just so good. So many great artists on here. So many people that were influenced by cartoonist kayfabe here. So it's fantastic. So this was awesome. So again, it's very light, but I appreciate everything. Every single piece that I have.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, man.
All right, let me get to Nick. Sorry.
All right. So we talked about Grand Design. I'm still in the hunt for a lot of the Grand Designs, but there's that, classic Magneto cover there. And I got the 11x17 from Ed Piskor's family at Heroes Con last year too. it's in the portfolio, but that's just such an amazing cover right there. And I wanted that poster as well. So went ahead and grabbed that one. As far as Red Room goes, here's my Red Room.
Yeah.
So I got all, this is, you know, I think all three volumes, not in order apparently, but I also got a bunch of the variant covers too. So I have their cartoonist kayfabe like homage.
Oh,
that one's sick. That is so good.
Yeah, it's a 1 in 5. It's, you know, you could still find them obviously, and there's just so many good. I got a couple of those. I got yeah, it's really kind of it's sad. I got some blank ones I was gonna, you know, take and things like that and try to get autographs on. A lot of these covers you can't even show, but a lot of these actually, Eric, I got a lot of these from from Cape and Cowles,
dude. Yes.
So got
I'm happy that they made it their way to you.
That's right.
Yeah, just these like weird body horror. Like I don't even know what's on that, so I don't want to linger too long on that thing. There's so many like so many weird. Nope, can't show that one.
You're good
that
here.
one.
That's
Can't
good.
show that one. Okay, there you go. So there's that. I as well got the Cartoonist Kayfabe Illustrated, so really excited to jump on to that one and grab that. This isn't even their thing, but this is what I'm talking about. Like things like this,
Yes,
Eisner Miller book. This is a great conversation. So like they had a long interview together, and there was somebody there dictating the entire thing, and then eventually they put it in a book format, and it stretches over a very long conversation, and it's just such a good read. Going over the relationship between these two, it's kind of like that new versus old, right? Cartoonist style and storytelling styles. And they butt heads the entire time, and it's
they
hilarious.
bicker so much. It's great.
It's like two grumpy old men just arguing about things. It was so cool. We talked about WYSIWYG, so there's the hardcover for WYSIWYG. It's got that classic like Apple side to it. Really great book. And then the interior, like I said, when you open it up, I can't see what I'm doing, but there's that dedicated to you, the reader, page that I was referring to, going through this. And yeah, it's such a great book. Just a little shots of like some of the interiors. So if you like that kind of thing, it's a drama, it's a slice of life, it's a destruction of some guy's psyche and abusing the technology of the time and authorities trying to chase him down and things like that. Highly recommend WYSIWYG. We talked about Hip Hop Family Tree. So Eric, like you, I too only have the first 2 treasuries for that. I think this is the second one, right? Yeah, second one right here. I got these on eBay for like nothing. They were like $4 for like with like free shipping. Dude. This was like this is before, you know, everything happened, and you know, you could find these online and things like that. And so mine still have like all the stickers and stuff on them from the libraries and whatnot. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I need to get into that, but you know, leading up to his passing, he was really pushing Hip Hop Family Tree, the omnibus. And so he was so happy about like the gold foil and the production value of it. And it really comes through on here as to like how invested he was in good production value. And it's a great collected edition. And there's a cover gallery in here featuring all the different covers from all the different issues and everything. There's so much extra material in here. There's some documentary stuff as well. So that's a really great one right there.
Is it still that nice textured paper in that as well? Like just like the treasury? Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
It has that weight to it. That
he's all about his paper. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has that same tone over the entire thing, that old newspaper tone.
Heck yeah.
But not only that, but then I got the Pop Press manga version of it too. So it has all the different, if that will focus, has all the different page colors and things like that. So you get the blues and the greens and the whites and the pinks and things like that. So I think Japan Book Hunter had this one a long time ago too, and it's such a cool book. I think I saw it randomly being advertised on Pop Press, if I'm not mistaken, and went ahead and just ordered it. And it took a little while to get in, but it finally came in, and yeah, it was really cool to get that on top of the omnibus, on top of the treasury editions and things. So yeah, that's what I have for my little haul right there.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was cute, boys. Now it's time for day. All right, we got to start at the beginning, man. Harvey Piskor, the beats. I just posted
I
this one
want
on
that.
WYSIWYG the other
Nice.
day. Yeah, he says it makes his eyes bleed to go back and read it, but he said that in an interview. But
That's funny.
WYSIWYG after that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, and then we'll do Grand Design, man. Do a bunch of variants.
Yeah.
You went hog wild at Heroes, didn't you? I think you picked up a couple.
No, I didn't. These are
No?
These have mostly been at my shop and my comic shop. I've gotten these. I like that Stan Lee one right there.
Yeah.
Little sketch joint from the first cover.
Yep.
Mastermind.
Dang.
He's saying, "Hello there. Mind if I lick your ankle?"
That's about right. I wonder if he had that heart zipatone. He probably had that sheet sitting in the back somewhere in some lot that he won on eBay or something like that. And he's like, finally, I get to use this heart tone in the background here.
I love this one. This is one of my favorites. Cyclops.
Oh,
That
so
one is
cool.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my fucking reflection sucks. This one, the Arthur Adams homage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another corner box joint.
Mm.
And then I got this. This is Bishop falling. I don't know what that homage is or what, but
It reminds me of the X-Men cartoon when Bishop was traveling through time.
through time.
Yeah.
That could be it. Yeah.
Yeah, Hip Hop Family Tree, dude. I got on my brother Nick's advice. I got a bunch of single issues off the Fantagraphics website that basically jump started my single issue collection.
Oh, right. I think they're still there too. I think you can still get them.
Cop them, man.
Yeah.
It came with this little vinyl. It plays this little, I guess, birth, like the story of the birth of hip hop, and it's like a DJ's version of that, right? He cuts together all these different records from the early days of hip hop. I included the link in the description if you want to go listen to it after the show. You can listen to it for free on SoundCloud there. But I tried to go to the website on here and listen to it, but it's not, the link doesn't work anymore. But I did find another one that does. So check it out though. It's pretty dope. But yeah, this is like an actual vinyl you can, I guess, try and play on a record player. But it's so dope. Yeah,
that's
we sent
awesome.
that with it. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's so many dope covers for Hip Hop Family Tree. I will just show off a couple right here. I love this one.
Nice.
Ice-T pulls a lick. Cultures.
He's got Mjolnir in his hand. That's funny.
Yeah. We got Jeezy, Weezy, and Yeezy. That looks like what's his Scrooge McDuck's
Yeah, he would do a movie. That's it. That's the homage. Yeah. They're in the vault and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Rubin. I just love that one. Old school.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that dude.
Absolutely. And then real quick, man, just a couple random variants, dude. If Ed knew how to do one thing, it was do a variant for his boys. So we'll start with this Tom Scioli Transformers versus G.I. Joe.
That is so good.
So sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then, of course, this bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's hard not to love that.
Right? Thing, Dark Knight Returns. And then this is like one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah.
For Hulk Grand Design. Love it. And then, yeah, I have a very shallow Red Room collection. Honestly, I don't have a ton of Red Room. I need to beef that up. But this is one of my favorites. I did get this one at Heroes E.
Oh,
okay. I knew you got something. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got this one off Jim down there. He signed it for me. I love this one. Charles Burns homage.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that'll do it. I do have the Hip Hop Family Tree on me as well, man. You guys got, if that's still out there, I highly suggest you guys pick that up. I don't know if they're still available on
it might be in print on, let me see,
Amazon. But yeah, man, that does it for my my Eddie P. I would show some of these other Red Room covers, but you know how.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to get into that. So Hip Hop Family Tree Omnibus is still available hardcover on Amazon, and the Treasury editions are also on there too. And like I said, on Fantagraphics, like you were mentioning, Stu, you can still get some of the Hip Hop Family Tree covers.
Oh yeah, thanks, dude. And like Dude, y'all go. I'm telling you, man. If no one can fill that cartoonist kayfabe hole in my life, but listen to your boy Nick. I have bought so much dope shit off of Nick's recommendation. He does not let you down. Just recently, I completely forgot about the Doom Treasury Edition until I saw my boy with it on Playing Fable. So I got to thank him for that one. But he's all, like I said, like I tell him, he's always reminding me about what's important in life.
I'm sorry.
Let me whisper that so my wife doesn't hear it. But yeah,
You're get me in trouble. Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate you, dog. But yeah, let's close out the show with oh wait, man, where are my covers of the week? Oh no. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me try to
technical difficulties.
That's okay. We get the Staramati.
Oh, they're on the
Here
other
we go.
side. I don't know why I did that. All right, covers of the week. E, kick us off, brother.
Martian Mindfucker. We talked about it. We love it. It's the best thing ever. The only thing that could make it a little bit better is going to be a David Aja cover, man. It's been a hot second since I've seen him do something, and I've kind of been a little bit. I've been a little bit looser on my wallet when it comes to the 1-in-25 ratio variants for the Absolute Universe. So, why not dive in and get it? This was sick. I loved it. So this was one of my picks here.
Yeah, that's a great one, dude. Aha's one of those artists like I always want to grab his stuff.
Dude, he's a little bit of his style is changing recently now too. It's not the same thing that we got from Hawkeye or Immortal Iron Fist back in the day. It's growing and changing in a way that I really like. I want to see him on interiors again. It's
like a modern day Mazzucchelli to me.
I can see it. I see it for sure, man. And that's like, I mean, that's a glowing review. Like you would never turn down someone saying something like that.
No, I love his line work though, for real. Like from Iron Fist to Iron Fist when it was still a little bit rough and more underdeveloped to like what it turned into on Hawkeye. On Hawkeye, he was like, man,
dude,
the work he did there is gorgeous.
Yeah, so good.
So good.
I'm a sucker for boxing posters, right? I don't know what it is. I just kind of love them. So even though I didn't read this issue, I really liked the cover work that we have on here. The Thing taking on Godzilla. I love the aesthetic of all of that, dude. It looks so sick to me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, last but not least here, Mark Spears. Again, bringing me back those nostalgic vibes here for the old Nintendo boxes for the cartridges that you would get. It's just killer. It's absolute killer, man. Like the color work is perfect, the artwork is fantastic, and it tugs on those heartstrings, those fields for going to Toys R Us and looking up at that wall of potential games that you could get when you had to go bring that paper slip back to the person behind the cage to get the video game that you wanted. So yeah, I dug this one so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good call. All right. Well, I will take it away. I got Jorge Fornes, another artist I kind of liken to David Aja, I guess, these days, doing some incredible work. I love this one, Harley Quinn.
It's great.
Getting smashed in the face. Yeah, love the old school feel to that one. Man, we're talking about Absolute Martian Manhunter variants. I had to go with this Gilliam Marsh variant. I know my boy Simpleton picked this one up as well, but this one I thought was the best of the bunch, like for me. And I love Aja, but man, I thought this one was incredible. I just love
picking up on the fact that we really liked this book because like we really liked this book.
We found a couple like all the covers and and it was the first thing we covered. Yeah, absolutely. But I love the pose that he's got in this one. So wild. Yeah. This to me is what these ultimate covers should look like. I hate the branding and like the whole blocky thing they do with the bar down the side. This Marco Cicchetto variant is like what I need from these Ultimate Spider-Man type covers. I feel like they are getting in the way of his fantastic art, and I love it kind of like out of the way and tucked in the corner like it should be in this one. This is incredible. So
that's how they get away with paying 80% of what the competition is doing. They give 80%
of the page. Yeah. Technically, we didn't show all of your art. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And finally, Chip, man, it's good to always good to see Chip Zdarsky doing art, and I love this variant he did for We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. So, Nick, you enjoyed this book. This is one of the 10-worded title book that I haven't got to from last week. We had like 20 of them, but
Yeah, I dug it. Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah, I'm gonna check
Yeah,
it
it's
out.
pretty
It
good.
looks interesting. I like the look of the robots in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically it's a mad scientist dad in a way who's got a lot of secrets. He's hiding from his daughter. His daughter's a becoming a teenager, and her babysitter is essentially these robots that dad has created, and she's learning to coexist with them. And there's a lot of people that are trying to stop this dad or unveil his secrets or steal his technology, whatever it is. We're trying to uncover that still, and she kind of gets wrapped up in the middle of all that. And I think she's going to have to rely on a new version of these robots to kind of like safely get her from place to place or evade these people trying to take her family out. So it's a really interesting premise, and I like the artwork a lot.
Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna check
and
that
I think
out.
it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that sounds dope. Real quick, we got Brother Joe in the building. What up, Brother
What's
Joe
up, Brother
Station?
Joe? What up, Joe?
Man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, sir. Always good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Friday.
I know. Hope you're warming up, bro. Omega says some of these incentives are just so sick. Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Upcoming forecast for Martian Manhunter is looking pretty cool too. I got to check that one out, dude. And the Bertram,
and the Bertram one.
That's the one.
You know, we got that one ordered.
So sick. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, E, talk to us. What's our Comics of Futures Past for today, April 2nd?
Comics of Futures Past, man. It's oddly relevant. I didn't plan this out, but it's kind of hard going back and finding, okay, when is the last time this particular date fell for that year? You know, I could find a heck of a lot of Wednesdays that were April 3rd, April 5th, right? But I got to find that April 2nd one. April 2nd, 1997, the Marvel Universe was introduced to a brand new superheroic team. This is coming off of the heels of Onslaught, the Onslaught threat, taking out the vast majority of the superheroes in the Marvel Universe. Avengers, gone. Fantastic Four, gone. Iron Man, Thor, everyone, right? Decimated. The Marvel Universe needed a new superhero team, and Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley were the ones that were going to be able to deliver Justice Like Lightning, the Thunderbolts. This was a bold, exciting thing, and it was really a time in comics before we had websites and publications that would give things away. We didn't know the solicits. We didn't know what was coming out 3-4 months down the road, right? So when you're flipping through this book, and I don't think I have to say spoilers for a book that came out in 1997, when you came to the last page of this book and you flip to it and you find out that this superhero team that you have followed their introductory adventure in was the Masters of Evil, led by Baron frickin' Zemo. Dude, it was enough to like shatter my little child brain trying to figure out how this could possibly be happening. And it was laid out perfectly because the writer of the Avengers, you know, was like the same person who was taking on the Thunderbolts here. So like everything was just lined up for you to feel like, oh, this must be like, this is legit. This is going to be something like, this is the new team that's taking over. No. Not quite, sir. But the way that they like reveal that and then play it out and make some of these people superheroes in the future as time went on here, like Songbird, really fantastic stuff. A really great inventive thing that you just don't get in comics nowadays because, again, of the nature of how we know way more than we ever could back in the day here. So Comics of Futures Past, Thunderbolts, numero uno.
Dude, great call. And Busiek was on fire at the time with that was the George Perez stuff, right?
He was the name in comics, man. Like he was the dude that was writing all of the superhero titles you wanted.
Oh yeah. For my money though, and this is a great story, and it was a super great flip and invention. Nothing beats Warren Ellis and Mike Diodado's Thunderbolts during like the kind of like, what is it, pre-Dark Reign era though, when they got Norman Osborn puts the team together. There's a scene in there where Norman is trying to stop from becoming and turning into Green Goblin, and he eventually like gives into it, and he hunts down I want to say it's Swordsman or some version of that. But he hunts him down and he kills him, and it's like just so fantastic and terrifying how he does it. So it's just one of my sequences. I thought Warren Ellis on that title was sick back in the day, and yeah, I don't know. I always got a soft spot for this team. So great pick, dude.
Yeah, same here too. There's so many great incarnations of like what the Thunderbolts could be. Like it's just like this evergreen thing that like you could take it and mold it into whatever you need it to be.
Yep. And then the MCU decided to do this to us, but that's all right.
Hey, I'm cautiously optimistic. Cautious.
You say that about everything. You say that about every Marvel project.
All right, fine. I'll make a bold stance then. I'm really excited for Thunderbolts, man. I'm legit down for it. I will be in theaters to see it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think it's dude, like that cast, like all you gotta give them is something halfway decent, and they can put it together. You know, but seriously, you got so many heavy hitters on that cast, like
for real.
And they've even advertised it as such. They've been in all these A24 movies, blah blah blah. Like
Florence is gonna put asses in the seats. Let's be honest, guys. Like we know that.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, who's your favorite one on the team?
Character or actor?
Just character. Like you're excited to see in the movie.
It's got to be. I mean, honestly, it's probably Florence Pugh is going to take the cake. Dude, what she did, she's
going to take the cake. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, like she was awesome in Black Widow. She was like the one shining part of that movie where she was just making fun of Natasha at every single turn. I kind of loved that. So she gonna get me there.
Yeah. We'll see. Wonder how quickly they're going to kill Taskmaster. Speaking of
like
no kidding.
Speaking of Black
it'll be like the Weasel in Suicide Squad or whatever it was.
Oh dude, the Taskmaster is secretly alive.
Or like the TDK, the International Kid.
Oh yeah, whatever the one was where as soon as they hit the beach it goes boom. It's like, oh okay, well
when they're shooting the arms and he's screaming in the background, just like
That was so great. That was such a genius stroke.
Yeah, it was a good opening.
It's like they used him as a diversion, finding out they used him and they're like safely making their way through the jungle. All right, fellas. This week, what are you guys looking forward to the most? For me, it's definitely obviously this the new Daredevil. What's the official title, guys? Cold Day in Hell. Nice, yeah. Steve McNiven, and like you guys said, Charles Soule writing. Junie Ba, definitely. How about y'all?
Dude, I didn't know Monkey Meat was having an issue number 2. To be honest,
neither did I.
I thought it was a one shot and
yeah,
done. So I'm excited for that. We got Ram V on Resurrection Man. If I had to be like very specific, I would say Daredevil and Resurrection Man are like my two. Like I'm like, yes, I'm gonna read those.
I have no. Who is Resurrection Man? What is Resurrection Man?
So Resurrection Man is a character. If I'm correct, I think he was introduced in as a Vertigo title or a Vertigo character. But the shtick is that every time he dies, he is resurrected with a new superpower.
Oh, dope!
Hell yeah.
I can see Ram having. Oh, it's Ram V, right? So like,
right?
Need I
Who's
say
on the
more,
artwork? Do you know?
Oh, I know it's. I know we got decal on the cover,
like
but
okay. All right, hell yeah, that sounds really interesting. How about you, Nick? Anything in particular you're
and I think Anad RK is part of that artist as well.
Oh yeah, I think Anad RK might be the main artist. Oh shoot!
Oh yeah,
I'm more excited now. I got 1A and 1B now.
Yeah,
hell yeah! I gotta check that one out. Oh yeah.
For me, Absolute Superman, I really enjoyed issue number 5. So issue number 6 is going to be coming out, and I read it and it's good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah.
That one's really
It seems
solid.
like that book's getting stronger and stronger.
I think so. Yeah, and especially now that we're kind of we had 2 different plot lines going on at the same time. Now that we're kind of shifting down to one. It needs to do something. This is really interesting because like Aaron does this a little bit too with like the Turtles and whatnot, where it's gonna take us 5 issues to get to the meat and potatoes of things, and that's kind of what we're doing right here. Now we're in issue number 6, and things should be kicking off, and that's exactly how the Turtles went as well. So Superman is great. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, obviously. Hyde Street is a really strong book as well. We had that Frankenstein origin kind of character in issue number 4. That book just continues to blow me away. So issue 5 is going to be out, and I think we're going to go back and take a look at the characters from Devour, which was a little one shot in Ghost Machine universe. Yeah. So I think that's who's portrayed in the cover, and that's where we're going to head. I've really been liking Lucky Devils. We have issue number 3 this week as well. So Lucky Devils is pretty solid. And Resurrection Man, of course, we just talked about. Just I don't know anything about the character, but it's a great creative team, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, and I love like Rom is resurrecting, pun intended, like these old obscure Vertigo characters. You know what I mean? I'm so here for that. What's that one you really love, E, that Peter Milligan did?
Oh, Shade the Changing
Man. Yeah, that's
dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. If you haven't read Shade the Changing Man, just give yourself like just read the first 50 issues. That's not too big an ask, right? Just 50 issues.
The first 50 issues.
Just read the first 50. The really, really it's some of the best stuff I've ever read in my entire life. Like no joke, full stop.
Dude, nothing beats some of those old Vertigo books.
Be on the lookout. Next week, we're going to drop the comprehensive top-down look, the first 50 issues here. So get reading, boys.
Oh, something said Shade is getting an Omni. There you go.
I know.
Okay.
It got pushed back a little bit. It ticked me off so much, man. I was like, no, give it to me now.
What is his deal again, Shade? What does the Changing Man mean?
Shade comes from a different planet. He was a Steve Ditko creation, and he was like, he basically he can manifest madness, right? And it was this very superheroic take on the character when he was first created. When Vertigo popped off, Peter Milligan and Chris Bachalo took this character and made it this transgressive, introverted look at the nature of madness, and like a person that could warp reality but didn't necessarily have control over what he was doing. And honestly, through the most of it, it was like a scathing look at America, at the nature of mental illness, of gender identity, all kinds of things. Like the scope of this book is maddening, right? It's the best way I can put it. They took a look at everything, and to then look back at the fact that they were looking at these ideas through the lens that they were in the 90s. It's a progressive book now. To think that they were doing this in the 90s makes it just that much more of a progressive book, because they did it. They kind of really put a nice bow on it. Again, it's a fantastic book that gets to look at all these really big ideas that are still kind of in the zeitgeist today.
Yep.
Oh yeah. All right. So another great week for comics. I can't wait to talk about them next week with you fellas. But real quick, let's talk about what we got coming out. Nick, take us away, bro.
Yeah, the other night, Monday night, we had a conversation with Marty Keene. This is our part two, right? So we're So we're talking to Marty yet again. He's up somehow he put out like a half a dozen books since last year. So we're gonna be,
right.
So we get into all of that, what he's been doing, what he's got coming down the pipe as well. It's always a good time chatting with Marty. So I'm in the middle of putting that together. Should be getting it out in hopefully by the end of the week or through the weekend, something like that. So you guys can look forward to that, and appreciate the guys here jumping on and being a part of that conversation. It's always fun to get everyone on the table.
Nick's also paid Marty's rent for the next couple of months with all the original art he's been buying up.
I picked up a really cool piece we showed off on the channel.
Absolutely, man.
He's not part of the.
You guys got to check it out.
You
guys got to check it out. Our boy scored big, so
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then get your new comic book day haul.
So I picked up a bunch of great books today, and so got my haul video out every Wednesday, and then in the mornings I do my cadets video as well, more catered towards the local audience here who shop over at Cadets, just to see what their local inventory looks like for new comic book day. But that's my haul, little preview to Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show on Saturday nights.
Yeah, dude, can I just say your thumbnails for your new comic book day haul, dude, these thumbnails do not quit, man.
I have so much fun doing those.
Those,
I have the next 2 or 3 already figured out and everything.
That's awesome.
So I have such a good time making those.
Yeah, you kill it, man. They look beautiful. So
thanks.
Oh yeah, y'all check out Nick, man. Nick Comic Culture doing it. Nick at Night, one of the best comic book review shows out there.
Thanks,
yeah, of course, bro. Real quick, I got the Doom reading recommendations just dropped this past week. Check it out. We go over the Bronze Age, 1971 through 84. All sorts of classic Doom tales in the mix there. So
I'm learning so much watching the video, by the way.
Right? Yeah, same.
Thanks, guys. Oh yeah,
man.
Loyal Librarians, man. And then I'll be on Verno tomorrow. We're at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursday afternoon, if you guys are free, live going over Planet Terror and Death Proof, man.
Hell yeah. I remember those movies. Those were great.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Grindhouse double feature. It's going to be
Grindhouse.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. E, talk to the people real quick about what we just dropped today. Guys in the chat, pay attention real quick, man. This is big news. We're excited to share this with y'all.
Yeah, guys, you get the exclusive. The people that are here live with us right now, you get to know about this before anyone else, before we kind of put our blast out on the socials here probably tomorrow. Ink and Insights here, we're growing. We're expanding. We're more than just a live show, right? We're more than just the personalities that you get to see right here. Now we're growing. We have a newsletter, right? And we have some really fantastic content that's going to be coming out here, not just through video format here, but now you get to see a little bit of a tidbit of some of the stuff that our design aesthetic, right? Some of the interviews that we have here in a print format, some of the fun things that you get to see here, including an original comic strip by Mr. Marty Keene right here of superhero fame here. Guys, this is just the beginning here. We're really proud of what we've done here. We're putting it on Patreon. When you see Patreon, don't worry. This is all free content here. We're not asking you for a single dime for this. But we're just really proud of what we've been able to put together here. We're hoping that we can actually get this in a print format, in a real physical format sometime in the future here. But we want to test the waters first. We want to find out, what you guys love, what you think we can do. And we really want you guys to be an interactive part of this process as well. So guys, if you haven't, go to patreon.com/ink and insights here. Sign up for the newsletter. See the first official issue of our newsletter here for Q1 of 2025. Let us know your thoughts, man. Be part of this process here and be on the lookout for more stuff that we're going to be putting out here because, again, content schedules, links for all of our content are going to be living there. And, again, hopefully a heck of a lot more like a printed copy of this kind of format newsletter coming down the pipeline. We already know that what issue 2 is going to look like and feel, and I'm excited. I want to give it all to you guys right here and right now, but check out issue number 1 here. We're really proud of it.
Yeah, I just want to thank you two gentlemen for all the hard work you put into it and really helped getting it off the ground. You guys were really like the ones who saw the vision and helped see it through. So I thank you for all the effort you put into it. Fine tuning it, and Nick wrote the best strip, y'all. I cannot wait for y'all to see this strip. It's so amazing. Really good, so amazing. I want to say more about it, but I don't want to spoil it because it's
exactly
y'all gotta head to patreon.com/insights. Check us out. So, you guys already support and hang out with us here. So we think we've put together something really cool for y'all. There's all sorts of goodies in there. Mm-hmm. We think it's really entertaining. We can't wait for y'all to check it out. So head on over, leave a comment, let us know what you think about it. We appreciate all the support. Anything else you guys wanted to say about it, or anything else before we get out of here tonight? I'm sorry, I didn't let you get your plug in. My bad. Go ahead,
on the pull list, Sunday mornings, talking comics, reviews. You get to hear me gush about Martian Manhunter more. So check it out.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing, man. That is never a bad thing. Absolutely. Oh yeah. But again, guys, head over to patreon.com/insights. Check out the newsletter. Let us know what you think. We appreciate you all for being here tonight. Everybody that came through: Omega, Simpleton, Brother Joe, Edson, Mike, who else? Christina, Rogue, DC, Taki, Johnny Recaps. Thank everybody for coming through. Love y'all. Hope everybody has a great week. We'll see y'all soon. Station.